He deploys them in front of the unit as skirmishers. Now, skirmishers are the one formation where men were actually spread apart and were permitted and actually encouraged to take cover, to use whatever cover was available, to fire as individuals, although they had to work in cooperation with their fellows. The point of skirmishers was to provide an initial line in front of your main body to make contact with the enemy and to protect you from contact with the enemy. The enemy, of course, is doing exactly the same thing. So you've got two main bodies, you've got two lines of skirmishers, and you come together, and as soon as you make contact, now you know where each other is. And the skirmishers will make the first contact, the more aggressive one will force the skirmishers of the other to fall back, and then contact will take place with the main body. So the skirmishers are spread out like this. Typically what they would do is they would leapfrog over each other, every other man. They would be anywhere from 200 to 300 yards in front of the main body, the idea being maybe just slightly out of musket range, so that they could make contact without endangering the body. And the truth is, rifled muskets were accurate to 500 yards. However, the guys operating them really most of them couldn't hit anything at that distance. So the rifle was 500 yards, the rifleman was maybe 200 yards. So here's the entire formation moving across the field in the same way that they would launch an assault of any kind against an enemy. And this would be exactly the same no matter which side we're talking about. Now the skirmishers in a real-life situation would be much further forward, but we're kind of limited on space here. So, but as a demonstration of how it worked, this is a good example. Remember we talked about the bayonet? Many officers said that a bayonet wielded with courage and determination was something no man could stand up to. And you can see that if you had a line 4 times this size, with that steel coming at you, you would be hard-pressed to stand and fight. Now they're anticipating immediate contact, so the first thing they're going to do is get their skirmishers out of the way so they can actually fire. And obviously you can't fire with your own men in front of you. So, again, the skirmishers are also very effective against artillery because artillery can't hit a body of men that are widely scattered. However, the skirmishers can hit the artillerymen, they can shoot their horses, they can shoot the cannoneers, they can shoot at them without relatively little damage to themselves. So against the fixed artillery position, skirmishers were very effective. So they had another function there as well.
Oh, sorry, Matt.
Now you can see right away that one of the weaknesses of a position like this, the strength of it is you can bring all your rifles to bear in the direction that you're facing. The weakness is you can't shoot at anything in the direction you're not facing. So your flanks are vulnerable. That means it's always the enemy's idea to come at you from the side rather than the front, or from the back, of course. Now in some cases, different responses to this might involve folding one wing back, refusing the flank as they call it, so that you could fight in 2 directions. But of course that diminished your firepower. There was a situation here in the Peach Orchard Wheatfield fight on the 2nd day where the 5th New Hampshire did exactly the maneuver you're going to see right now, where they were suddenly confronted, they were facing in one direction, and they were suddenly confronted by an enemy coming at them from a different direction. And so this is what they did. The first thing they did was take the right-hand company and turn and face it in the direction they now wanted to face. So the command is change front to the rear on the right company. Battalion about face. By company left half wheel. Each company individually does a half left wheel. And then marches to the new position in line, slightly behind the line established by the first company. They do a turn into